Can you eat pork on the carnivore diet? Short answer, yes. You may eat pork. Pork is the meat from an animal. It's on the carnivore diet. However, when you eat pork matters. The way I recommend everybody do carnivore is the first 30 days is strict carnivore, beef, bacon, eggs, butter. That's it. That's all you're going to eat. Now notice there, bacon is part of my first 30 days. Bacon is pork. So you are eating pork on the first 30 days of the carnivore diet. But nothing else, no other cuts. We stick with pork because, we stick with bacon because bacon has high fat content and will help keep you full and not hungry. Other cuts of pork, we're going to put them in as an option that you can rotate through your meals after the first 30 days. Remember, the first 30 days are all about stabilizing our appetite, controlling our hunger, getting adapted to a fat-burning diet, and getting our sodium levels constant and figuring out how much salt we need to eat with our meals. That's why we keep a simple structure our first 30 days. Beef every day, eggs and bacon and butter on the sides and with the beef, nothing else. That's why the first 30 days, beef is our priority. We eat it with every meal. We add eggs, we add bacon, we add butter, and we put salt on everything so we have full meals. First 30 days, any cut of pork that's not bacon, not on your diet. The main reason is pork is a lean meat. It doesn't have enough fat to keep you satiated and to satisfy your hunger. Most of the cuts of pork that you're going to buy in the grocery store are very, very lean cuts of pork. And on carnivore, we want to stay away from lean for the first 30 days because if we eat lean meats, we're going to stay hungry, we're going to keep having cravings, and it's just not going to work and make carnivore productive for us. So typically on carnivore, when someone decides to eat some pork chops, what happens is they eat the pork chops for lunch. An hour and a half later, they're hungry, and then they start looking for something to eat. They don't have a meal prepared to eat, so they end up eating something that's not carnivore approved. They stop by a Quickie Mart and they go in and grab a bag of chips, anything so they're not hungry. This leads to defeat on carnivore. Stay away from pork and other lean meats the first 30 days. Just to reiterate, bacon is the only pork allowed the first 30 days. It's because bacon, in addition to being delicious, is high fat content. So bacon helps you not be hungry, not have cravings, and it also goes great with your meals so you have an easier time to prep your meals. I mean, bacon goes great with steak, bacon goes great with eggs, but one key point is bacon is there to support you alongside the beef. Bacon is not a mainstay. You're not going to eat bacon for your meals at every meal. You're going to eat beef for your meal at every meal with bacon on the side. Now, once you hit day 31, you can add pork back into your diet, just like you can add chicken back in, just like you can add fish back in. But remember, when you add it back in, you're adding it back in on a rotation. You're not adding it back in as the main protein source. So this means beef stays in your diet daily. At least one meal a day is going to be beef. And then you can rotate through your other proteins. So Monday for lunch, you can have steak. Monday dinner, chicken. Tuesday lunch, pork. Tuesday dinner, steak. Wednesday steak. Wednesday night, ground beef. Thursday lunch, chicken. Thursday night, beef. Friday lunch, steak. Friday dinner, salmon. You're going to eat beef every day. Rotate through the other lean proteins. And when you're looking for cuts of beef, the fattier cuts are going to be better. So pork ribs, pork belly, and the fattier pork chops work better than your lean cuts of pork. So remember this rule. If pork begins to replace beef, problems are going to show up in your how you feel, and you're going to get symptoms of undereating. Brings us back to beef. Beef is naturally balanced. It gives you your protein and high fat together. Leads to fewer hunger cravings. Leads to fewer hunger swings. It requires a lot less thinking on your part. Beef just simplifies your life. When you add pork back in, you're adding it for variety. You're not adding it to make it a main part of your diet. And one thing I do here when we're talking about pork is I hear pork is cheaper, pork is easier to fix, pork tastes better. Totally fair. The taste preferences are real. Some people prefer the taste of pork over beef. Convenience matters, of being able to find it easily and be able to afford it. But early success matters more, especially for your first 30 days. First 30 days, really avoid the pork. After 30 days, by all means, add it in. When you add pork back in, keep it on the rotation. Keep beef as your main diet. When you eat pork, make sure you're cooking it in lots of beef tallow. Add butter to it. Eat extra eggs. Make sure you have enough fat around the pork to make it work. Main takeaway from this, Yes, pork is carnivore. Yes, you can have pork on the carnivore diet. Don't have pork the first 30 days except for bacon. After 30 days, eat fattier cuts of pork. Support it with extra fat from butter or eggs, but still eat beef every day. I thank you guys for watching this video.